You're now tuned into Radical Radio with Coach L.
Switch my attitude. I'm so radical. 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 I'm so radical.
Radical Radio is designed to get to the heart of our guest stories. Oftentimes, you see people moving and they make it look so easy. Many don't know the story behind the journey, the heartache, the disappointment, the wins, or even the loss. What has it cost you? We are removing the stigma of judging a book by its cover and gaining perspective from our guests in the most radical way, in their own words. Testimonies are meant to be shared to help others move forward. That's the radical way, y'all. Let's go. You can't heal what's hidden, and you can't break chains you don't acknowledge. The word says the truth shall set you free. Be true to yourself and allow the plan that God has had for your life to live. That's radical, living unapologetically bold and purposely authentic. Stay tuned for the radical coaching moment of the day. Hello, what's good, y'all? What's good, my radical people? Thank you guys for tuning in to Radical Radio. I am your host, Coach L, the visionary of Radical Life. This is a brand that encourages you to be radically bold, purposely authentic. This is a brand that will encourage you to be radical and live in the God-given favor every day. Radical Life houses Radical Radio, Radical Life Coaching, as well as Radical Eyewear and Accessories. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Radical Radio. This is my baby, y'all. I love this platform. I love everything about it. I love to have people on that share their stories. So if you don't know, now you know. Everything I do is radical, and I am so excited to have y'all here. We have a very, very special guest this evening. I am so excited to have this queen on here. I've watched her from afar. She's a mutual friend of one of my good sisters, and I've watched her just kind of like encourage and motivate and inspire. And I'm like, I gotta have this queen on the show. So I am so excited to have our radical guest of the hour here. We're gonna go ahead and get into our guest in one moment, but I have the radical coaching moment for you. So this week there's been a little I would say, pause, where I had to take a pause and I had to realize that oftentimes I always say, the word says the truth shall set you free. You heard it in the video right before this. As I was reading John 8 and 23 through 36, like it was basically just talking about how God was saying, like, if you believe in me, I will show you, I will show you that I am who I am. It also says that, he was talking about how the Father is the person that he listens to. Like, he does what the Father tells him to do. So with that being said, I was kind of thinking about, why is it so difficult for people to accept the truth? Like, how do you accept a difficult truth? I looked something up and it was saying, take the courage and start a process of self-reflection to come to the truth of your current situation. Accept the truth of the situation. So I'm going to pause right there. A lot of times when people don't want to accept the truth of a situation, when people don't want to accept your truth, it's because they're going through a phase of denial. They don't want to hear you. They don't want to listen to you. They rather not. Reason being is because they have their own things that may be going on or that they may be dealing with on the inside that has nothing to do with you. I want to encourage you guys to always make sure that when you're speaking about you, right? We have to do a self-reflection about ourselves. We have to come to the truth of the matter and accept the truth of the situation. As I said in the video before, you have to face the truth. You have to accept it, and then you have to multiply it by forgiveness. And that's how you're able to heal. So we all have the power to heal, which also will give us the power to grow. And that goes for family, friends, relationships, whatever the situation is. You always have to make sure that you are being truthful with yourself first. So that is the radical coaching moment of the day. I want to thank you guys for that. We're going to go ahead and bring our awesome guest in here. First, I'm going to read her bio, y'all. So we have Carson Johnson. She is the creative mind behind Ekklesia Elegance, a custom handcrafted ladies, men's, and girls' jewelry line. Carson's journey started with 4 words from God. It's in your hands. Miss Johnson is a wife, mother, minister, elder, and youth pastor, along with her husband at Ekklesia Ministries in Sheffield, Alabama. In the past year and a half, over 3,000 pieces of jewelry have been made, and Ekklesia Elegance has expanded to tees, custom shoe embellishments, and jewelry mugs. Carson's testimony is simply not to give up on your dreams, and with the grace and help of God, all things are possible. Y'all, come on, we're going to give it up for Miss Carson Johnson. Hey, Queen.
Hey, hey.
How are you? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am good. I am so excited to have you here. I've been excited all week.
I have been excited for a few months.
We are so happy to have you here, Queen. Hey, Miss Angie. Hey, Miss Susan.
I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Yes, she is in Sheffield. Are you in Sheffield? Or you just...
I currently reside in Florence, but our church is in Sheffield. The church that I attend is in Sheffield. Yes, ma'am.
There you go. So yes, she is in Florence, but her church is in Sheffield, Miss Susan. She was asking where you from. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it because I have so many questions. Like, these questions were really good. I left my notebook at home. I was like, oh man, I go back. And my producer was like, them questions are good. I'm like, yes, they are.
Oh, goodness.
So let's go ahead and get this thing started. So the first question to start with is, what is the Carson Johnson story?
Oh man, the Carson Johnson story. Oh goodness. Man, if I would have to just sum it up, it's beauty for ashes.
Yes.
Beauty for ashes. I have been through so many things, and a couple of years ago, just at the point of where I just thought, God, what am I going to do? What is going on in my life?
Yes.
Am I ever going to get to any of the goals that, or the things that I know have been promised to me, through your word, the things you've spoken to me? Am I ever going to get to these things? And just at that point, those 4 words came up in the aisle of Hobby Lobby.
Wow.
Those 4 words came up, and it was so ironic because that was something I always encouraged my friends with, but I had never applied it to myself. I've got girlfriends that can do hair. They're so creative. I mean, just almost anything you want, they can create. Gotcha. And I had never applied it to myself because I'm a big online shopper. Right. So, when I got ready to go for, the things that God had promised me, I just saw myself, ordering things, and then turning around and selling them, like that.
Yeah.
It never came across my mind. I never thought I would be making anything with these hands. I never thought it would be possible. And like I said, those 4 words just came up. It's in your hands. Yes. And I said, God, I can't make no jewelry. And I said it just like that. I mean, like, I'm standing on the aisle now by myself, and I'm looking at this wall of beads, and I'm going, God, I can't make no jewelry. And I kind of said it out loud to myself, and I'm looking around like, I hope ain't nobody looking at me, but at the same time, and he said it again.
Wow.
And I said, okay, you know, because hey, I've told God no before, and you know what I'm saying, things didn't go too well. when you go that route, you know what I'm saying, trying not to, you know what I'm saying, do what God has told you to do, things do not go well at all. Right. And I picked up a couple of booklets off the aisle, went home, called my husband, and the rest is kind of history. It's just that's how I ended up here.
Now, sis, that's amazing. And I want to thank you guys on my Instagram for coming on in. I want to, you know, stop right there and pause, because a lot of times, like what you just said was, when are the things that you promised me gonna come? Like, Lord, you said I'm gonna have abundance. Lord, you said, you know, that I'm gonna have all of this stuff. Like, when is it gonna come? You know, and I want to encourage you, just like Carson just said, you know, she asked, Lord, when is it going to come? And in the middle of Hobby Lobby, get this, y'all, in the middle of Hobby Lobby, this queen got exactly what she needed. God said it's all in your hands. And that is amazing, because I can't imagine how much time you spend in Hobby Lobby now, or how much time you can spend in Hobby Lobby, you know, once you start making jewelry.
Man, it's like I live in Hobby Lobby.
Like, just
the people I go through the line, and they like, what kind of jewelry are you making this week?
Absolutely. So it's amazing that God will put you in the middle of the aisle of just what you need to bring the blessings that you were asking for. So that just that takes me back to say, hey, when we ask God for something, we better be prepared for him to answer our prayers and answer us and give us exactly what we're asking for. So that is amazing. Thank you for sharing that one. Now, have you always been like a creative person? I know you said that you know, just kind of used to do online shopping. When you were younger, did you have like, you know, were you a fashionista? Tell us about how you were.
Yes, I've always loved fashion. My grandmother and my mother, I mean, just were always decked out. My grandmother always had furs and, you know, big bobbly jewelry, and, you know, wore that Elizabeth Taylor white diamonds, you know, perfume. I'm kind of telling my age now, but yeah, I mean, and then my mom was pretty much the same, except she had maybe like a whimsical, you know, spin to her. She would just come out with different things. You looking like, okay, but it worked, you know, at the same time. And then I can remember times where I would lay down in front of the TV, like when the award shows would come on, you know, like your Grammys and Tonys and all that would come on. And I would have a pad and a pencil and would just try my best to freehand, you know, the gowns that I saw that the celebrities had on and all that type of stuff. But I've always been a lover of fashion. Just probably dressed a whole lot different, you know, from, you know, some of my peers and all. I tried actually to, you know, just fit in and dress the way they dressed and all that type of stuff, even so much to the point of I can remember one time in high school, I borrowed a pair of one of my cousin's tennis shoes just because it was like the hottest thing out or whatever. But you know, at that time, you know, you just want to fit in, you just want to, you know, do what everyone else is doing, and it just wasn't, you know, what I was supposed to be doing. So, you know, the more I aged and, you know, became more mature or whatever, I just kind of developed my own style, just kind of pick out of things, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, people wouldn't normally look at, or even shop places where people normally wouldn't shop, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of put things together. So yeah, so that's pretty much how that went.
That is amazing. Look, God knew the plan all along. It was just right there. He knew what it was.
Yeah.
Now, was there any, like you said that your grandmother and your mother inspired you a lot. As far as business goes, you know, we've talked about, you shared, you know, you didn't even think this is something that you could do. You stood in the middle of the aisle and you said, I can't make no jewelry. You know, what would you say to the entrepreneurs right now that don't really know what they're supposed to do, and they're in that space where they're asking the same questions, like, when am I going to get the things that you said I'm going to get? What would be your inspiration or motivation to them?
Man, just seek God. That's, you know what I'm saying, that's the biggest thing. Seek God, because even when I was in that store, I was in there for something completely different. I had just started making t-shirts. We had a t-shirt for our church, hashtag I am Ekklesia. And I had just started doing those. So I was in there for materials for that. I hadn't even, tapped over into anything else. My mind wasn't on anything else. And I stopped on that aisle, and then I was coming off a broken ankle on top of that.
Oh, wow.
And we ain't even going, I mean, that's a whole nother, that'll be a whole nother show right there. But you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was at that place of, okay, God, when is it going to happen for me? When am I gonna, you know what I'm saying, at least take a peek, into the things that you want me to do. And I've been in ministry, almost all my life, but I'm one of the people that's just kind of like, there's more, there's always more. And on top of that, when I did get into fashion, I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to do, what everyone else was doing. So, seeking God and just, got into the t-shirts for my church. And like I said, that one moment, I'm in there for something totally different. And, God says this to me, and I had to be open to it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be asking God for stuff and then, you completely miss it because you think it's so far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? That, it's not what you're supposed to be doing. But I mean, being a lover of all fashion, I was like, okay, when he said the second time, I was like, all right, well, let's go home and give this a try.
I hear that. I love it.
Yeah, don't, you know what I'm saying? Seek God and don't give up. Seek God and don't give up.
Thank you. Thank you. That is dope. Thank you for joining us, Rita. Thank you for joining us, Sire. How you doing? That is amazing. And I just wanted to give that encouragement because I know that there's a lot of people that just may be stuck in that same manner. So thank you for that. That's just being open and transparent. A lot of times we get in those places where we're like, Lord, when is it going to happen for me? So I want to encourage you guys. You heard what Ms. Carson said, just seek God in all that you do. Now it's funny because I know, first thing when we hear Ekklesia, right? First thing we think about is church, right? I said, let me dig a little bit. Let me see if I can find something else. So God said, look up the word, look up what it means, right? So I look up the word and it says, the meaning is a particular body of faithful people. Right. And it wowed me. It wowed me for the simple fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic and we have kind of moved outside of the church walls. So, when you hear Ekklesia, you automatically think church. You think of going into church, the church house. But when you read the meaning of it, it says a particular body of faithful people. So we are right now in a pandemic, right? What would you say has been the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome in business during the pandemic?
Oh man, the biggest hurdle for me is not being in church a lot. My husband and I have a 4-year-old, and she was born like a month or so early, and she always had some type of respiratory, problem or whatever, and we decided that I would stay home with her and he would, handle the things at church, far as youth ministry and all of that. And, but far as business, a lot of my church, man, shout out to Ekklesia Ministries because that they really catapulted me, in business when I first started. And just missing some of their business alone, it just seemed like through the pandemic, it was just kind of like a little slow, rough patches, in there where things just really, they really slowed down. And then I had some personal things to happen. And I was just like, I said, God, I got to shut down for a little while. I really do not want to do this, but I have to, so I was just like, Lord, please just let it, when I do open back up for orders, just let things flourish again, and all like that. But that was the biggest thing. And then I also had pieces in 2 shops in the area. So, to try and cut down on COVID, action in my home, I took pieces out of both of the shops, and I just said, well, God, you know, I'm just gonna trust you that, you know what I'm saying, I can still remain in business. Yes. You know, and through it all, I still had orders. You know, it wasn't like before the pandemic started, right, where it was like I was probably, you know, 7 to 10 pieces deep a week. You know, it slowed down to maybe like 3 or 4. Right, but nonetheless, you know, God was still faithful, you know, so that's why I can still, you know, just look back and say, great is thy faithfulness. You know what I'm saying? God is so faithful, you know, to his word and to his promises. And I just, you know, a couple of weeks or so ago or whatever, just was in a frustrated place. And it was and still, you know, kind of pandemic related. My kids are doing virtual learning here at home. And I think it was just kind of taking a toll on a sister, to be honest. I was just kind of like, man, you talking about a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and then a 4-year-old. And I was just, man, I was like, oh my God, I can't get nothing done. This is just not working. I'm just going to just forget it, you know. And in that moment, you know, of frustration, my family spoke up. And then the next morning, when I did my first live stream, you know, on behalf of Ekklesia Elegance, and one of my friends called it a push video. When I did that, that morning at during our 5 a.m. prayer, well, after that, I couldn't go back to sleep, and I had to get up early anyway to go to one of my friends' house to go to the bead market, and I couldn't go back to sleep, and I was just, you know, okay, do I do this live stream? Do I not do this live stream? You know, because I just kind of wasn't feeling it from the night before. I was upset and stuff and just kind of tripping to myself. And I was like, you know what? I'm still going to do it. And God said, write the vision, make it plain. Don't stop. Don't quit. And I was like, when, you know what I'm saying? Where did that? I was like, okay, God, you know, so that's, you know what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying? I went ahead and incorporated that, you know what I'm saying, into my message, because God, you know what I'm saying, kind of quickened in me that somebody else needed to hear that. It wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, for myself, you know, because my husband had already said, you're not going to stop. You know, really laid down the law. He was like, no, we're not going to start and not finish and, you know, all like that. So I just said, okay, God, I'm just going to put this out here, you know, just however odd it may have seemed to me. But that's what, you know, people need to hear. I was conversing with, you know, a young lady on the live stream, and she was just, you know, saying how she was in tears. That's what she needed to hear. And, you know, to keep going in her business. And I mean, you know, we got to do that. We got to encourage each other, you know, and not, you know, be like crabs in the bucket, you know, trying to pull each other back down. We got to be able to uplift each other and everything. So that's been my experience with the pandemic.
Listen, and when I tell y'all, listen, I caught that live and I was like, sis, like you was speaking in that moment. Like, I'm like, yes, like give me. And you said it was a push, and that's exactly what I felt. Like, I felt like it was a push. So I thank God, and I thank you for your obedience, because hey, you needed to do that live. There were people that needed to hear those things so that they can go ahead and they can press through. Because it's a very difficult. Yes, it's nobody but God. So let's talk a little bit about Ekklesia Elegance. You know, you said, you know, you told us about the business, how you started, how you were in the aisle of Hobby Lobby. Now, I read somewhere, and I can't remember where I read it at, but I read that it takes you about 6-7 hours to do your piece. So
yes, ma'am.
Y'all talking about handmade. Y'all talking about handmade. This queen said 6 to. When I read that, I was like this,
like this set right here, man. It is no joke. Sometimes I be looking all cross-eyed and hands get to hurting and all kind of stuff, but it's in the details, man. I'm a very detailed person. Like, I don't like a hair out of place, and you know what I'm saying, it just kind of bothers me if I see someone or see something, I'm like almost cringe and just, you know, want to go fix it. But you know, but it's all in the details, you know what I'm saying, and in the care that you put in, you know, into your work. And that's what I pride myself on Ekklesia Elegance, and with my teenagers as well. My daughter and my son help from time to time when they can, and you know, and I tell them, no, don't rush through anything. You do this like this, you know, because this is, you know what I'm saying, you want your quality of your product to speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what keep your clients or customers coming back. So like this piece right here is all tiger's eye and crystals, like no plastic stuff. Like this is a $200 set. And it is, you know what I'm saying, as bad as anything you would see in a department store or in any other boutique or anything like that. But it took 7 hours to make this set.
Yes.
7 hours.
And let's talk about that, because see, a lot of people will say, you know, people don't understand what goes into the crafts that people make. It is very important. And I love the fact that you are saying, like, listen, this right here, this can go in a department store. Your Macy's, milk, all that. Right there. We have to learn how to take pride in the things that we are doing and the things that we are creating, because like you said, you sat in the middle of the aisle and God said, it's all in your hands. So you have taken your hands to create this masterpiece. So it's more than just a piece, y'all. Let's keep that 100. It's more than just a piece, because God has given her the vision. He told her, she heard really clear, crystal clear, not once but twice. It's all in your hands, okay? So this is real kingdom marketplace stuff right here, right? So it's a difference in regular businesses versus kingdom marketplace business, and I want to touch on that. What makes kingdom marketplace businesses different than your regular smegular business?
What makes it different is the promotion of the kingdom. Yes. The promotion of the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. When I told God I want to do something different, I wanted this to actually be a part of ministry for me. Yes. I didn't want it to just be, you know what I'm saying, like a hobby or something, you know, just something I was doing or whatever and just selling or whatever like that. No, my pieces are named according to the Spirit of God and the scriptures. The colors have meanings, you know what I'm saying, in the Bible. So that's how I do that. Like this set is my steps are ordered by the Lord. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's brown tones. Brown in the Bible was a color of the earth. And when I looked that up and thought about it, the first thing that came to my mind was my steps are ordered by the Lord. Yes. So that's what God told me to name that piece. You know, you get on websites and stuff all the time. And you see something that says this is the Veronica set, or you know, this is that, and things have different names or whatever. But you know, when you ask God for something different, like I said before, you know, you got to be open. Yes. You know, to what he wants you to do, because to some it may seem far-fetched, you know what I'm saying? Okay, why you know what I'm saying, doing that the way you doing that? I can only do it the way God gave it to me. I'm not trying to be nobody else. I'm not trying to be like nobody else. You know, so like I said, that's another reason, you know, I take time, you know what I'm saying, and detail and pride into what I do, you know, so people can see the quality and it speak for itself. And then, you know what I'm saying, like I said, promote the kingdom, you know, promote the kingdom, because like I said on that live stream, God is the creator of all. And he is so big, he is so creative, and that same power is in us. So, you know what I'm saying, seek God, see what he wants you to do or whatever, put his stamp on it. And it ain't, you know what I'm saying, you can't put enough of your own stamp on anything, you know what I'm saying, without acknowledging that it's God, without acknowledging that it's God, you know what I'm saying, that gave you the ideas, you know what I'm saying, the witty invention. Hey, you got to put God's stamp on it.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So y'all heard the queen say, listen, put God's stamp on it. Y'all better hear me clear. She say, put God's stamp on it, because that does make a difference. It really, truly does. And even if you are not certain about what you want to do, she said before, seek God. Listen, I just want to encourage you guys, whatever it is that you are set on, whatever it is your heart is set on, understand that God already knows. So he's just waiting for you to come to him. Once you ask, he'll make sure that he does everything that he's supposed to do for you. He'll make it work. He will make it work. So that's amazing. Now, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a minister, you work with the youth, like you do all this classes, then you making pieces, taking $6 okay? And like you said, 7-10 pieces a week, okay? How?
It was it was so great. I know how. It was so crazy when I first started because I was just like, man, out the gate. Like I said, I what I did was I made a piece the Sunday before I went to church. Like that weekend, made a set to wear to church or whatever. And, you know, I thought it was real pretty and all, you know, I thought I was real cute. And, you know, one of them people that just kind of, I do get compliments about things that I wear all the time, you know, so got to church, you know, went through the whole service. Nobody really said anything about it. And I was like, well, maybe it's not as pretty as I thought it was, you know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of sitting there and thinking or whatever. I mean, and that's just being for real because I had took, you know what I'm saying, like hours to make this set. And I was just like, well, God, okay, you know, maybe it's not, you know, as nice as I thought it was. And I was just sitting there. And then after at the end of my apostle's sermon, he says, I don't know why I'm here, you know, about to say this, but I just want to admonish the women in our ministry. I'm not over the women, you know, he was just like, that belongs to, you know, Pastor Katina, his wife. And he was just like, but I want to admonish the women in our ministry that your wealth is in your hands. I about to fell out my chair. I almost fell out of my chair because that was the exact same thing God had just said to me. So I'm sitting in the corner and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm starting to wave him down, you know. I got to say this. I got to confirm what you're saying, you know, just so, you know, the other believers, the other ladies, you know, would know that what he was saying, you know, he was hearing God because, like I said, he had just said that to me. And when I had revealed that I had made the set I had on, I mean, you know, it was just like, what, you know, everybody just kind of started tripping. And, you know, my apostle was just like, I mean, well, you just have to know my church. It is not an ordinary church at all. So he was just like, he said, you made this set you got on? I said, yes, sir. He said, how much you selling that for? And I said, and I hadn't even made up any prices or anything. And I was just like, I said, 35. he said, he reached in his pocket, pulled out some money. He said, honey, you like this? What she got on? You like this set she got on? And she said, yeah, I like it. And took it off. He said, now I want my bag the next time I see you because you got to have bags to put this merchandise in or whatever. He said, but that just, you know what I'm saying, goes to show that, you know, like I said, I didn't, you know, think that was something that would, you know, really take off or, you know, that I would, you know, really end up doing from day to day or anything like that. And from there, I mean, like I had orders right after church. Right after church. I mean, orders just started flowing in and I was just like, what, God? Okay. So the very next week, I had like 7 to 10 orders. So I was staying up like around the clock. I stayed up probably 2 days straight, you know, trying to make sure I met that deadline for that weekend to give them their product on that Sunday. But, you know, that work really paid off because, you know what I'm saying, it showed me that I could do it for one, because I would end up having to do it again several more times for other events. But, you know, it just went to show, you know what I'm saying, that the time, you know what I'm saying, and the quality, you know what I'm saying, the care that I put into my products, you know, and hey, man, it kept clients coming back. It keeps them coming back. It keeps them coming back. And I just said, well, God, I just thank you, you know, for the patience, because a lot of people are just like, how do you, I mean, you know, and then my kids were in extracurriculars, and I was just like, you know, it's just God. That's all I know to say. It's just God.
Listen, it's all God. Because we did heard a few stories just here and there where you have, you know, really like sought God and said some things or felt some things, and he has turned that thing around and he has showed you right away. And that's amazing, because I read that when you were saying, like, you know, when he said, you know, when your pastor said what he said, you just was like, what? I was
like, what?
it brought me to something because it's like, oftentimes we get down on ourselves and we like, oh, well, maybe it ain't everything that it was supposed to be. But God still loved you just enough to show you, nah, daughter, let me lay this on you real quick. And he laid it on your pastor's heart to say what he said, because we have to remember that God always knows. He knows all.
That's right.
He knows everything. So even when she was sitting there and she was like, well, maybe it ain't that cute. You know what I'm saying? It had already been planned that he was going to make sure that he put it on your pastor's heart to say what he needed to say. He confirmed that it was all in your hands. Like that is amazing, y'all. That is, if y'all don't understand how amazing that is, the power of God is so amazing when we go to him and we allow him to give us the things that we need, to give us the desires of our heart. Like, it is the most amazing thing.
Yep. And I'll tell you what too, every time I think that I have kind of plateaued in an area or of making certain things or whatever, I will tell my husband, I think I just, I've kind of, plateaued in this or whatever, I'm gonna be seeking God for something else. Not even 5 minutes later, I will get an order for that very thing I just said that, I thought was, about to go out of style or somebody wouldn't want and all that. I will get an order probably 5 to 10 minutes later. And it's just God showing me, no, this is what, this is what you're supposed to be doing. Keep doing it. Don't stop, so yeah, it's amazing. God is amazing.
Yes, he is. Now, let's talk about the consistency since we're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've had times where you like, I don't know, this might be, I might be done with this item. You know what I'm saying? But you have so many things that you do. I've seen you bling out chucks, shoes. I've seen I'm like, he's killing it. Like, I gotta send you some shoes. I'm like, that's gonna be next on my list. I gotta give me some Carson shoes. But I've seen you do so much, and the jewelry is amazing. Like, it's
thank you.
Right? But you still are revamping and adding and adding more and more. Tell us about the other things that you do outside of the jewelry.
Outside of the jewelry, I do what I call elegant tees, and they're pretty much just message tees. I found some lettering that's velvet flocked. It has like a 3D appearance on it or whatever, so it's not vinyl. And time and work goes into putting that together. Like you said, I embellish shoes, and that just kind of started out of my wanting to get into shoes and to expand, because the goal is, a boutique and then also a family clothing store. Those are the goals, So right now we're at custom boutique. I just don't have the brick and mortar yet. But Hey, not yet. It's on the way. But at the same time, I'm always looking for and seeking God, to see what I can do different. Just had someone contact me the other day about blinging out some t-shirts, and I had really never thought about doing that, and you probably would think, you do t-shirts, won't you just put some bling on them too? But I didn't really think in that, in that arena. But I said, well, okay, challenge accepted. Let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then the jewelry mugs. I was on YouTube and I was looking at some things or whatever, and I was like, I don't see anybody doing this. Let's try this out. And it just kind of went from there, the different things, but it's all getting into the boutique. Cause like I said, that's something that has been on my heart for a very long time, and I know that's one thing God has promised me. And what Ekklesia Elegance, I used to have a tagline on there that says, jewelry as unique as you are, but I just kind of dropped that because it's now turned into a custom boutique. So now it's just Ekklesia Elegance, So we can provide other custom goods, just outside of jewelry. But like I said, the goal is a boutique and then family clothing store. So I just said, God, I want to work towards that, So
I love that. You listen, it's coming. I know it's coming because you are a work in progress, honey, and he is doing everything to get you prepared, honey. You are going to be
Yes,
in that for the very
it
yes.
is.
Now let's talk about the keys to success. You've tapped on them, like we've been tap dancing on some of the. Um, I want you to share with our other entrepreneurs out there, those that may have it in them to want to start a business, not really know what to do, what's expected of them. Can you share with us what would you consider the keys to success in being an entrepreneur?
The keys to success of being an entrepreneur, plan. I am like a big planner by nature anyway, because I have so much stuff going on. But at the same time, when I did start an Ekklesia Elegance, I didn't, I wanted it to take off, but I didn't really, my expectation wasn't where it should have been, if I can say it like that. And I really didn't plan a whole lot. I just jumped straight in, and jumped in head first and was doing this and doing this and doing this. But plan, I mean, from A to Z, you have to plan. That is one of the biggest things, know, you know what I'm saying? Learn the craft, whatever it is God has given you, because we're all different, we're all unique, we're all special. God has given each one of us something, you know what I'm saying? Know that craft, you know what I'm saying? Study that craft, know what you have to have for it, your tools, you know what I'm saying? Your budget, how much everything is going to cost. Just plan. You have to do that. And then plan and be consistent. It is probably nothing that I don't like more, you know what I'm saying? If I'm purchasing from someone and, I have to wait like extensive amounts of time, on the product, and I'm just, that wasn't, forewarned to begin with, and just the consistency, because that's a lot of what'll keep your clients coming back as well. Quality.
Yes.
Quality is also key. You don't, you know what I'm saying, just want to throw things together or whatever. If you're making your products, by hand or whatever, don't just throw things together. You know what I'm saying? Take time, put care into your product. I promise you that will keep clients and customers coming back to you over and over again. And let me see. I would say enjoy it. Have a passion. Have a passion for what you do. Like I said, I'm a lover of all things fashion. I mean, I love how you know what I'm saying, rock yourself out. I do. It's different, you know what I'm saying? I'm always looking for different, and just have a passion for what you do. I mean, it's nothing worse than getting up and going to work. And I've had to do this. Getting up and going to work every day and hating what you do. It is nothing worse than that. Have a genuine passion about it. Love the baby God has given you. Because if you don't have a passion for it, no one else will. No one else will. So those are some key things for me that I would, tell entrepreneurs.
I love it. So that's plan, be consistent, and have a passion of what you're doing. I love those three. Those are three great keys to success as an entrepreneur, y'all. So plan, be consistent, and have passion in what it is that you are serving. Whatever it is that you're doing, have passion in it. I love that. Let's talk a little bit real quick. We got a little bit more time. When you say, what was that? No, that's not it. When you said, as far as like ministry, like you're in ministry, we didn't get back there. We kind of lost that. You have your mom, your wife, you're in ministry, you know what I'm saying? For those that are out there that are juggling all business, home life, your children, ministry, can you share I know how. It ain't nothing but the grace of God. Okay? It ain't nothing but the grace of God. But what is one thing that you must do to make sure that all of this stays in line?
You have to plan. and have
There we
order.
go.
You have to plan. Listen, because my children, now that we stay in Florence, they actually go to a school that's in another school district. So we have to like really plan. I mean, it is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have something on the refrigerator with who has to do what, where you have to be on this day, and all of this. And then I still got to see, you know, about a 4-year-old. My husband just started working from home, you know, got to see about him, make sure he's able to do what he does. And then I have to take children to where they need to be and all of this. And I have to do Ekklesia Elegance. You have to plan and you have to have some order. Because if you don't, look, I have, you know, orderly chaos around here, but it will be so chaotic if you do not. I mean, juggling, it's all about planning and having order. You have to.
I love it. I love it. So listen, you're going to be our first guest that's going to do this questionnaire with us, right? This is okay. I said, well, Carson going to be the first one. We're going to see how it goes.
All right, let's have it. What you got?
I put this together. It is called Radical Ways, okay? So it's only 3 questions. Listen, I was like, I wonder if I should send her the questions before. She like, no, spring them on them. I'm like, oh, we don't see how this goes.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So the first question is, when you hear the word radical, what comes to mind?
Out the box, cutting edge, different. Yeah, those
That's
3.
Good. That's good. It's going good. It's going good. Okay, what is the most radical and unique characteristic about Carson?
Carson like to cut up and laugh. Like, I like to have a good time. And it's so bad because it's, look, I probably shared it with just a couple of other people, but I'm gonna tell it because I'm just kind of transparent. Okay. Lord, some years ago when my grandmother passed away, we were having a visitation the day before the funeral. And I was sitting in the visitation with some cousins. Mm-hmm. And we just could not stop laughing at some of the stuff they had going on in the program of the visitation. Yes. And I was just, and people was looking like, you know, why you laugh? Why y'all make that laugh? I mean, but it was just, yeah. So I like to cut up. I can cut up about almost anything, and I love to laugh.
And I can tell. That's why I said I can't wait to meet you in person because I can tell you like to have fun.
I know.
And that's it. You know, I tell people all the time, you can love God and have fun at the same time. Like you ain't got to be all fun.
You like, sure can.
It might make you feel a little better.
Right. That's right.
Okay, so the number 3 is, what is the most radical thing that you have ever done?
Man, the most radical thing I have ever done. I went to the beauty shop, and I don't even know, this came over my mind the other day. I went to the beauty shop when I was probably around 20 years old, and me and my beautician attempted to do an auburn color in my hair. Now, this is the weeds, but I've always had like long hair. Uh-huh. We attempted to do an auburn color on jet black hair with African pride hair color. And the outcome was punk rock pink.
Okay, now, all right.
I had to walk around for the longest with punk rock pink hair that when it started growing out, it turned orange. So yes, that was my probably the most radical moment that I could think of in my life. And I was just like, I'd be so glad when this stuff grow out.
I know you was like, I'll be glad when this is over. Yes. And she remember the punk rock
and she probably do. Oh God!
Listen, I am so excited to have you here. I want you to go ahead and share with the guests where they can find you. For those of you that are tuning in, we have listed Carson's Facebook handle and her Instagram handle, I believe. Yes. So if you can tell them where they can find you, where they can find this jewelry and all the custom items that you have, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook under my business page, Ekklesia Elegance. You can find me on Facebook as well under my personal page, Carson Johnson. I will answer inboxes to either one of those. Also on Instagram is my_Ekklesia_Elegance. And that's how you can reach me.
Yes, y'all go check Miss Carson out. She is not to be played with. Don't play with her, okay? Y'all need to go check her out tonight. Go check her out. Follow her, check her out. She got some bomb pieces. Don't play, okay? Thank you, Carson, for joining us. I really appreciate you. I hope to meet you very soon. You're welcome. It was a blessing. If y'all don't know, if y'all have missed any part of this, go back and watch the replay. And I just want to encourage you, just like God told Carson, it is all in your hands. This is an amazing story. So I need y'all to go back through if you missed it and replay this story, okay? Thank you again, Carson. You have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So listen, here's the tea. We now have our podcast is officially up. It is on all platforms. So we have Spotify, we have Apple, we have Audible. It's on platforms I don't even know. It's on 14 different platforms. So you can find the Radical Radio podcast on any platform that you choose. Go check us out. Go follow us. Go subscribe to the podcast. We also have a YouTube channel, which is up and running. We do run our live stream as well on YouTube. So you can go check us out on YouTube at Radical Radio as well. You can catch us also on Instagram _Radical Radio. And if you want to follow me, Coach L, you can find me at Radical_Life. And also the Facebook page that we go live from every Monday is the Radical Radio. So I hope that you guys had a good time with us tonight. We hope that you will come back with us next Monday. We will be in the building yet again at 8 p.m. This show has been produced by nobody better than Maxie Norman, the super producer. So I want to thank you guys for rocking with Radical Radio. You guys have a great night.